forget. Oh, free, then leading the way, pushing the limits, redefining the play. For the crew, for the tribe, for the ones who strive. He's the pulse of the maker's drive. It's more than print, it's a way to rise through the sweat and tears under burning skies. He's here for the makers, for the love he gives. With every design, he shows how to live. All free, then leading the way, pushing the limits, redefining the play. For the crew, for the tribe, for the ones who strive. He's the pulse of the maker's drive. So keep your chin up, protect your neck. Just build, 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 let your heart connect. I love you and you matter. Hear the call with free heathen. There's room for us It's free heathen breaking the game. For the makers, the dreamers, remember the name. Crew and tribe, we're riding this wave. For every creator who dared to be brave. He's the man with the vision, designs that inspire, fueling the scene with relentless fire. From the crew to the tribe, he's breaking the mold, building a legacy that's fierce and bold. Promoting the makers, he's lifting them higher. Every model a spark, every print's desire. He's got the skills, the hustle, the drive. Free Heathen Workshop, keeping dreams alive. So keep your chin up, protect your neck. This life's a grind, but there's no regret. Just build, 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 let your heart connect. I love you and you matter, never forget. Oh, free, they're leading the way, pushing the limits, redefining the play. For the crew, for the tribe, for the ones who strive. He's the pulse of the maker's drive. Breaking the rules, yeah, he's setting the tone. For every designer making magic their own. Blueprints and dreams, they're the tools of the trade. With Free Heathen Workshop, the future's made. His models are art, his passion's the key. He's building a world for the community. Through struggles and triumphs, he's always on deck. With the mantra he lives by, protect your neck. So keep your chin up, protect your neck. This life's a grind, but there's no regret. Just build, 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 let your heart connect. I love you and you matter, never forget. Oh, free, leading the way, pushing the limits, redefining the play. For the crew, for the tribe, for the ones who strive. He's the pulse of the maker's drive. It's more than print, it's a way to rise.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to the Free Heathen Workshop. My name, of course, is Maker Millwright. Welcome into my laboratory. I don't know if I have posted Monday's show from Twitch over here, but we are actually working. There's a couple of things we got going on here in the background. We're working on the new sourcebook, Twisted Spire, which I got quite a bit done. We are working on the Tugboat, pardon me, and we have to decide what we want to do with that. There's a bunch of options with that. And then I have to show off my new shirt. This is my new shirt. These are part of the merch. I made this shirt on Twitter or on stream. It's absolutely terrifying. It's absolutely amazing, and I love it. Sorry guys, I gotta grab a drink here. But yeah, so that's the same old same adventures and excitement that we normally do. But so yeah, so today's not that very exciting per se, although it's gonna get exciting because as we work on this stuff, it always seems to grow. But we've got the vast majority of the new book started. I think we're up to 30 or 40 pages. We have to add some art. We have to. What else do we have to do? Yeah, we have to add some art. We have to do some writing. I have advertised across all the platforms, so you guys can come see me. But we might just start with painting, cause painting is good. I have some models prepared that I want to paint anyway. So I know I'm like notorious for like switching topics when we start, but it's all an ebb and flow for me. And I think maybe that's what we'll do today. We'll start with some painting, and then we'll see where we get to. Because I always need to warm up. See, that's the thing. All your favorite YouTubers and content creators, they're much better at all this than I am. I just make the stuff and do the things. So let's see where we get to on some painting. We'll chit chat. But yeah, so well actually no, let's start with design. Let's take a look at the existing design and see how I feel about that. How does that sound to all of you lovely people? Let's take a look here. Let's take a look see. I gotta log in. Nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. Being prepared, not what I'm known for. Um, there we go. Now we're logged in. So we can take a look at some Tinkercad. So yeah, all the excitement. So I had started doing some revisions on models and stuff, just fussing with stuff. But we actually have the boat because we can actually start the boat. It is quite warm today, but we could start the boat today. You think I have enough material to run the boat? Yeah, I have enough. All right. Let's see here. What am I doing? I'm doing doing the thing, and doing the stuff. So we're here, and then we do this thing, and this thing brings up that thing, and then this comes over here. There's our boat. So it ends up, there's a lot of reverse staging on this because what happens is because we use the center bore out position on this, so anything we want to build here, anything we want to build here, we have to kit it, but we also need to put a prop, or not a prop, but what's it called? Rudder? Yeah, rudder. Hello, hello. Now, does it need a rudder? No. Are we going to put a rudder? Maybe. Maybe. Problem is that if I do a rudder, everyone's gonna be like, well, can it be removable? I think that's where this model's gotten to. Is like it's gotten to a point where it's like, I don't know how to make it printable. If that makes any sense to you. Because we've kitted it, right? Let's be very clear. Like it is definitely a kit already. Whoops, undo. But as we've worked on it, we've gone out of our way, pardon me, to try and make it printable, like easy peasy printable. The main body ends up being one big piece, right? But like this shroud, like I'm not really, this shroud should probably be removable, but I don't know how to make that removable. Like I don't know how to make that arc. I say. I guess we can make one piece. I guess. It just seems like a lot to print the body on one piece. Maybe that's why I stopped working on this, because I wasn't sure where to go with it. Maybe I'll just print it and see where it goes, but do we do a rudder on it? I guess we end up doing a rudder on it. But then if we do a rudder on it, how do we make a rudder cool? And then everybody was saying how we gotta move this, that the prop is too high up. Can mess with that a little bit, but it's just not that big a deal. The prop would end up really low though. I need to copy this. This all needs to be grouped. Well, bundled technically. And this. And then this all needs to be copied. Brought over here. Because, like, right now we're not sure what the wall thickness is on all of this. Like, if that makes any sense. Dual rudder / low. What do you mean? Yeah, it means I have to lower all of this, though. This all can come straight out, but actually this needs to done. Those are the liners, so those liners get stuck in. This and this can come, like it's got to come down like here. Like if we want it to be a boat, it's got to be like it's got to come down like to here, which is actually not terrible, I guess. Well, sort of, because we're gonna lose all our clearance, so it has to come up too, which is fine. I just and I can make this longer. Like this being longer is not a big deal. Right? Like this, all of this can add last. Just as a note. This all can this all can add later. Right? Because we can make that output socket or whatever as deep as we want into the object. And this can come down even more so like there. Which even there-ish. This needs to center to this. Right. But even so, putting a rudder in there, we have to change the whole lower frame. Like this all has to change. And I think this has all been hollowed. I can't remember. No, it hasn't. Okay, so hello, Jayden. So I can actually make that bigger. I can take this and elongate it, which would give us a position for a rudder. Not a good one. Do we just do it without a rudder? Maybe we just do it without a rudder. Maybe we just print the body with this position. So then we take this. Let's deal with that last. Okay, so this gets locked. Let's do all of this and just see. Let's just print the body and see what happens. Because honestly, it's hard to tell at this point. No, you don't. The lower rudder will use the effect of the flowing water. No, you don't. Lower rudders will use the effect of the flowing water. Bottom of the rudder should not go lower than the ship. Could not go lower than the ship. Yeah, so you think that, because where the counterbalance is, you think that the rudder should totally fall over and knock everything over and make a mess of this? Yeah, we should totally do that. It's almost like we should make a new one of these, and we haven't, because we're lazy. I should totally make a camera mount for that. How bad is that? Oh, that's not terrible. Yeah, I should totally make one of those. Yeah. Yeah, because you are saying come down. We could, yeah, or put the rudder in attached to the shroud. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Then this needs to ungroup. And then this needs to ungroup. That can be inside there, that's fine. This and this and this all join. I think we're going to run it. Small rudders will work. Area of to affect. I understand what you're saying. I think maybe we're just going to run it. Try our luck and run it. See what it looks like. Because I still not really sure where to put the rudder. And we did lower it down a little bit, which still, if we do want to adjust this to be like a sci-fi theme, or use extra like forces of movement, like things like giant big paddle wheels or something, or if we want to put it attached to like a zeppelin or something, it gives us that opportunity. If that makes any sense. Let's do this is flying boat body, body, and then we'll run it. And then we'll throw this in the slicer. Now I don't know if it's better in the vertical or the horizontal. I do believe it's probably better in the vertical. Sorry. I don't know if it should be upside down or right side up. It's on the. We could run this on the snap maker, but I think we're gonna put it on the bamboo. Yeah, I just don't know how the rudder's gonna fit. Makes my brain hurt. Even thinking about it makes my brain hurt. Prepare. Come on. This thing's huge, by the way. Oh, it's too big.
What?
That's
You're the
too big
best,
for the
no matter
bamboo.
what everybody on this app says.
I want to put it on the bamboo. It's big. I don't know about that, but I don't know about that. Pretty good, but I don't know if I'm the best. It's too big. Do we go back to the drawing board? What do we do? Too big. Yeah, should we run a diagonal? Yeah, so this is what I'm looking at. Let me show you what I'm looking at. Because we can run it on the bigger machine. Like, that's not a big deal. Oh, the bambooish window should be showing. It should be showing. Why is it not? Yeah, it is. Okay, yeah. So we can run it on the diagonal. But it's too big. And then auto rotate. And it does want to print it in the vertical. It doesn't want to print it in the horizontal. Like it wants to print it this way, not the other way. And there is a big ugly flat plane right here. Right? Where the shroud is. I guess we just run it and just see what it's like. It's gonna be like an 8-hour print though. Oh no. Please orientate because you have parts that are cantilevered. What happens if I tell it to like... I guess it can't. Where's it supports? There's something where you can like tell it to make overhangs printable. It's in quality, right? Back knee. Thick bridges. A whole thing? I forget. Like a whole thing. Bed walls into the supports. Grid is fine. I don't know why everyone has an issue with grid. It's always been triangles. It will always be triangles. Infill combination. Ports. That's it. I don't print over. I forget. I've done it before. I forget. Other ribs. This is all miscellaneous stuff. Where is it? It's something about make overhangs. Hello, hello, hello. Whole thing. Where is it? Elephant compensation, sure. No ironing, wall generation, bridge flows. No, where is it? I'm missing something here. Virgin infill, internal ribs, auto, supports. And layer, support height. Is it under speed? No, it's not under speed, is it? No, it's not. Maybe I'm losing my mind. Losing my mind. Yeah, I don't see it. Maybe I'm missing something. It's fine. Whatever. Let's do sports. Organic, build plate only. Whatever. Hello, Mr. Klondike. How are you, sir? Sadly, no energy drink today. No energy drink today. Wearing my custom T-shirt, just for the channel. It's not terrible. It's not great, but we knew it wasn't going to be great because there's no 45s on everything, right? I don't see any holes in it. So that's good. Like, it's got some structure to it all the way through. Okay. Oh, I called it too. 8 hours. Nice. It's almost like I know what I'm doing. We are we are building. Well, we're test printing a model we've been building over the last couple of weeks. I'm only here once a week on YouTube, right? But we're test printing a armored tugboat. It's like way too big. It's like so I'll have to like redesign it. I'm gonna have to redesign it, but we'll finish up this version and then we'll do a new version of it. But it's like, yeah, 8 hour print, which is not too bad, but there's still like more parts for it, so it's gonna be like a 14 or 15 hour print. It's gonna be a minute. It's just another sort of like model I just randomly designed because I like designing. It'll probably end up in one of the source books at some point. And then we're just debating. I couldn't find the thing where it's like, oh, make all overhangs printable. Because there was this old thing you used to be able to do where it would like soften. The machine would just like decide like what overhangs were acceptable and what weren't, and it would make them work. It would just break everything. But I don't see it here. In everything I'm looking at, I don't see it. Which I still think is funny. And remember, I use mostly default settings. I change quality and speed and stuff like this. Did I export this already? No. So what am I doing here? Well, we can do 2.4 as base layer. We probably could just do 2.4 for the whole layer. I just print infill first. There's a there used to be a thing, and I can't remember what it's called. Two walls is enough, I guess. It could be three, but slow down by height, which is like for really big prints. Tops and bottoms. What's it got for tops and bottoms? Oh, that supports this strength. Bottoms, 5 tops, and bottom. 5 tops, 5 bottoms. Yeah. Oh no! Oh no! The face camera broke. Like I do too many things at once. How's the audio though? How's the audio today? That's what I worry about. Because a bad video is okay, but about a bad sounding video is not. Yeah, because we're doing triangles, so it's already lots of space in there. Isn't there? Everything else is coming fine though? Okay, good. Good. Anyway, there used to be a thing where you used to, like the machine would, it said make overhangs printable. And you could do that. And it would make the, it would like soften all the bottom edges and stuff on stuff. So. We'll take a look at this because I know once I print it and I look at it, I'll know like what is wrong with it. I know there's definitely something wrong with this back shroud. Well, hold on. Hold on. It's like could hypothetically be less. Let's ungroup this. These all have to get locked again because if I don't lock them, what ends up is they get ruined. Right? We can probably cut that whole thing back to like a 45, so it's not so. This can probably we gotta get out of the ones with tens. That. Does that really bother anything? No. And then it's a boat. Well, that's neat. New highlighting option from. Come down. Just trying to see what I can do with the overhangs. I really can't do a whole lot, I don't think. Lot to be done just with the design. That would align center to this again. I don't think there's a whole lot to be done, I'll be honest. Because that, does that impede my color? No, it doesn't. That's okay. And then this, we can cut it back a little bit. Cut it back just a little bit. Double propellers are typically used for um, stability. Typically. Like stabilizes the wash coming off the propeller, typically. Typically. but I'm not really a boat guy. Don't quote me on that. Even that's like, I don't know, is that dumb? Because it does, well, it's not terrible, I guess. It's not terrible, I guess. Because this all can not really move in, so it is what it is. So it's like, can this stretch down a little bit? That's a little bit better. Doesn't do a lot to help what I'm doing, but it does look cool. And it's not so generic looking. Because it was looking kind of, hello, hello. Wasn't, it's not terrible, but it's not. And then, and then, yeah, I don't know how you guys design, but yeah, typically like I'll go into the slicer and see. I do not know what you're talking about, but that does sound awesome. That definitely sounds awesome. Dare I say awesome sauce? Because this could go like that. And hypothetically it could this way. This could, because, and then I could make it shorter. Change the angle a little bit. Because this is kind of lame. This is less lame. That's less lame. This kind of squares off the. And then what I could do is I can undo that. So what I'll do is I think I'll leave that. And we'll actually do another one there. So we'll take this, we'll copy this, align it to the outside of this. This ends up being copied. Then it comes up like that, and then it comes down in scale like that. Then this all aligned to the center of this. Now it looks a little less. And then this ungroups. That doesn't work the way I want it to. Well, actually, yeah, it's not terrible. So then this and this and this all become same height, which they are. They group. And then this joins with that. And now it looks less lame. Okay. It did not improve the quality of the boat at all for our manufacturing process. On the plus side, it looks less lame, so that's what matters. Yeah, less lame. Yeah, but just because they were out before your time doesn't mean that they weren't like a thing, right? Like there's like I know TV shows from the 60s, 70s, and the 80s, and that was before my time. You know what I mean? So like I know of Batman 66, and that was like way before my time. All right, so that's not terrible-ish. I don't know if these are going to print in here. Maybe it is a print sample thing. I think we're just going to print sample it. I think that's what we're going to do. Is we're just going to print sample it because it did. I didn't like that overhang so much. It was looking kind of boring. But I think there's still some problems with it. That's why I turned my beeper off. Yeah, all right. See, so that it's gonna want to. Yeah. Let's get rid of the one in here. It's still too big though. I made a channel for summertime projects. And it started off with a big. There you go. There's a lot of channels on the Discord. There's a lot of channels on the Discord. Not a bad thing, it's just a lot. I get lost in there. Uh, like, how do we put a rudder on that? I think it's like a bolt-on. I think it's like it comes off the shroud. I don't know. It was never really designed for a rudder, because the only thing I can think of is like down here, right? When I designed it, it was but anyone making anyone for me? I would love to. I just don't know what the rules are here in Canada. Like I would love to make rockets because engine like rockets are so cool. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go look at what rudders look like is. I don't remember. Yeah. Well, there's the King of Random. He made some sugar rockets. I just don't know. And in Canada, you've always to be safe. It's better to not do a thing than do a thing and get in trouble. That's 2.3. This is 2.3, right? And then this comes back. So this, the bottom. So let's just do 26. Yeah. I understand, Seth. I understand. Um, my experience with Canada is we have to be very careful with what we say and what we do here on YouTube. Well, not just YouTube, I guess the internet in general. Oh, I got to turn some music on. I was wondering. I don't know if drop works over here. No. It is the animation because remember I just bring over the Twitch screens for all this stuff because I have no idea what I'm doing. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We will see. We will see. All right, what are we doing here? We're so zoomed in today too. Looking a little rough. All right, what are we doing here? We're like super zoomed in. Locked in, as they say. So like this ends up being because this needs to be like there needs to be some sort of pivot on all this. Which is fine, right? It's not terrible. I could chamfer it, but I don't think I'm gonna. But something like that, right? Is this all cut yet? No. So this gets ungrouped. What? We're locked in. We're doing stuff. Uh, we're like live designing and adding stuff to projects that I assumed were done. That's all. So this. Well, this needs to be zoomed. This needs to move over, right? And the reason why it's like not cut away from the shaft, because it should be, right? But the reason why it's not is because it will provide support. Okay, so that ends up being grouped. And then that can be different colors so I don't get confused. And this ungroups. There we go. And I don't know what we can we do something about this? We can. Not really, right? Well, we sort of can. There you go. Yeah, remember, I always forget. Hit the like, subscribe, and share button, please. It helps us grow. We're actually growing again. So I like to see that, you know? Now, see, like, how do I get rid of that? Although I do like that it now highlights that face, which is kind of cool. But basically, I want to be on top of this, right? I can come here, and I can... No, because I want to cut that off. So what do I want to do there? Yeah, what am I going to do here? Like, I sort of want to be... Can this... I want to be, like, right there, right? And then up like this. Then I want this to come down like this. Nope, up a little bit more. And then I want this to come in like this. And that should do what I want. Oh yeah, I gotta get some, yeah, I should get some water. I got a little bit of Dr. Pepper today. And you're right, it is almost break time. Are correct, it is almost break time. This just gets pushed in a little bit, I guess. Yeah, drink your water, take care of yourself. You know, you matter, right? Got to enjoy some Finnish energy drinks. I've never had a Finnish energy drink, although I have finished many energy drinks. So this and this then join with this. I don't believe I'm across multi-platform, am I? Oh! Oops, thank you. That could be part of the problem. Sorry to hear that. No, I don't think I'm across multi-platform, am I? Are you guys? No. No, no. It's all YouTube comments. It's maybe I'm just not paying attention enough. Oh, there's a little icon here. No, 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 you're right. No, there's a little icon. It's a tap with water. And one of the things I always say to you guys, because I take a break every hour or so, get some water, get up, stretch, walk around, and drink some water. Yeah, you gotta take care of yourself. Like a lot of people, they end up watching content. I know I'm on a tirade. I know I'm supposed to stay on content, but too bad. Yeah, drink. That's right. That's right. Drink some water. Take care of yourself. Because remember, you guys do matter. Whether you agree or not, that's fine, right? Like, you're allowed to feel the way you feel. But you do matter. Like, whether you like it or not. Yeah, see, and then it got rid of that stupid little triangle in there. Yeah. It's still kind of poking through a little bit, but it's not a big deal. Yeah, well, you're supposed to stand up every hour or so and stretch. At least I have to. So, model dialogue. What? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, sorry. So there's this purple shape had some points that were sticking out really hard, so I just went in and trimmed them. Right? So I just went and trimmed them off. Whereas, like, you see, other ones are just coming projecting out. And if I was using um, a different program, I would be able to cut these differently. But because it's Tinkercad, I can't. I don't know how I would trim these at an angle. I get up to. Oh, big enough. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly why my standing desk. That's why I'm sitting, not standing at my desk today. It's because I gotta fix that camera and then get my desk to stand. Anyway, so what we're doing here is we've taken this model and we've pulled it a couple of times into Slicer. I'm just looking at overhangs. I'm looking at what it will really look like, sort of. And that's what we're trying to decide on, is like what do we want it to look like. So that's what ends up happening here, right? And I'm just looking at these like edges and stuff, like, do I want to make this pink a little smaller? Because I can, right? Like, I could do, let's take 1 mil off each side, or let's take 1 mil off. So it's 114, 114. And then all we're just going to do is recenter everything, right? Like, because we're not, and remember, we still have the original there. Right, so then it's going to be still super bold, right? That projection is still super bold, but, taking 1 mil off does make a difference. It's going to be a kit. Yeah, it's a kit build. So the main body, I'm struggling to figure out how to make that. Um, but basically everything you see over here, everything that's multicolor, different colors, that's a kit, and it's hollow. It's hollow, right? So we're just playing with the body because I didn't like the way this whole impeller stuff went together, and then we ended up adding a little bit of a rudder, and that's sort of like, hypothetically I could go back and trim all this again, but I don't think I'm gonna. Well, so the show side is the top, right? Let me show you, because I see what you're saying. Let me show you what I'm thinking. And then you can. So remember, so supports being underneath. Remember, because when you're looking at it, you'll be looking at it like this, not from the bottom. So it'll be like this. So not under, not above, right? So when we look at this, if there's supports underneath, that's not a big a deal. If we had it upside down, right, the supports would be all on the top face. If that makes any sense. Here it gets unlocked. That's exactly what I'm debating, actually. Because you'd think it'd be, because like you think it'd be like a plug, right, where you actually make it upside down. Right? Because you'd think it would be like this. You think it'd be better to print it that way, where all the supports are hidden on the inside, but they're not because all the overhangs. Yeah, exactly, right? But because all the outside overhangs, I thought something on my deck fell. Just loud neighbors. Um, because all the overhangs, so you end up. I probably draft out the overhangs. I would like to too, but the way Tinkercad is, to cut all of these overhangs out is really hard. Because like if I could cut all of those at a 45, like all these plates, and it's because the way I designed it. I kind of just made this up on the spot. So, and when you make stuff up on the spot, it's sort of just you have to go with the flow of it. Because if I had made all of this as each one of these as an independent piece, it would have been different. Just like in different programs, you could chamfer these inside edges. So that would chamfer at a 45 up and down into the center. But it's very hard to do in Tinkercad. Because, we like to overthink it in Tinkercad, right? So we're going to bring up Slicer. You're not well. The whole reason I get this, we have this debate all the time across many of the places I travel. Um, I use Tinkercad just to get you guys doing. You know what I mean? That's all that matters to me. Because like you can take what I teach or what I show or whatever you want to call it and make your own stuff, right? And that's all that matters, right? But see how the auto rotate doesn't flip it? So I'm using the slicer, right? You think, oh, the auto rotate would make it flip. Oh, I use Tinkercad because there's a bunch of good reasons for Tinkercad, but there's no specific. Tinkercad was the first one I ran into that wasn't a 2D drafting program. Because I don't see the world in 2D. See the world in 3D. Everything I see is in 3D. Okay. Did it add 20 minutes? So all our stats are the same. I think it's going to add 20 minutes. Oh, really? No, I'm a mechanic. So I drafting and design and stuff that's all something I picked up. It saved us 8 minutes. How did that save us 8 minutes? Yeah. How did that save us 8 minutes? That's wild. Anyway, let's print it. Instead of 800 or 8 hours and 44 minutes, 8 hours and 36 minutes. Yeah, I used to be a mechanic, so that's like where all my ideas come from. That's why everything I build kind of looks like it would work. Kinda. I'm not saying it would. I'm just saying, it's got that impression. We're gonna do this one in what are we using today? We are using 3D Max filaments. We're using their purple in their high flow. Sorry, high speed. These guys are out of Florida. They're very nice. They sent us up some material. Just gonna give it a. We've been running their stuff for about a month now. Very honest about what sort of we do around here. All right. I still think this boat is way too tall, but we might change that. And it probably doesn't help printing in 30-degree weather. What if you remove the squares from the hull and made the snap-on pieces, and then you could draft the just for everyone? Oh, I'll show you why. Here, let me show you why. You're gonna laugh. Um, so again, I did it via concept design, right? All right. Actually, should be one piece now, yeah. So this should replace that. Actually, we'll take this one apart. Okay, so this is the boat. I'm going to that new design, so I'm not worried about it. But so this here, right? So when I break this apart, so we get into the pink stuff, right? That's how I did it. See, I just cloned the body, and then so I use a bunch of negative space. That's right. So to make this into that, and to get it to fit correctly, right? Because there's the body. There's the boat without the. There's the boat without the armor. And then this is the same again. Thank you for coming. So this is the same again. So what we did to make the planks, instead of making each individual plank, we sliced the planks. So we ended up making a bunch of like really sneaky, fast and dirty concept design stuff, right? Is it possible to make this modular so that you could actually print it and assemble all the pieces? Yes. Is it worth putting 40 hours into? No. Yeah, Tinkercad is a huge different workflow. Again, I do take feedback on my design websites. They're all down below. But it's like basically if somebody did say, like if there was enough interest in the concept, which is what this is, that if there was enough interest in the concept, I could then go and redo it. But this model isn't released, and two, I just generally make what I want for fun. Because we're not, I know I'm supposed to tell you guys like, oh, it's supposed to be super. Can you subtract the gray from the pink and leave the pink bits as individuals? No. Yeah, I understand what you're asking. Here, let me show you. Okay. Well, first of all, you'd have to subtract the blue, right? So you'd have to pull this out, and then pull this out, right? To make the negative space of these, you'd probably use this yellow one and group it like that. And that'll give you the hull components. And then you'd have to go about cutting out every individual piece. Which, again, is not impossible. Right? So, put that back. Oh, I guess go forward. Back one. I'll take this, I copy this out. Ungroup this. I guess, what am I doing here? I forget. But anyway, yeah, you could hypothetically cut all of those pieces out, and they should follow the flow, but they may not follow because you have the blue hull on top of the yellow hull. So the other option you could do is copy that one and copy this one, or I guess copy this one. And then take a blue and a purple, take them over here. And then you could ungroup the blue, delete out all the foils, turn this into a negative, then use that negative to create this, and then you'd have to go and split every piece. Yeah. Because that would give you the thickness. And then you'd have to take every one of these and make pockets. You'd have to make these bigger, slightly bigger, or slightly. Yeah, you'd have to make a slightly bigger version of each one of these at each angle to create a pocket for them to sit in, so you could glue them in place. Right, because you'd have to have a seat for them all to sit on. Because if they sit just against the hull, they won't bond well. So yeah, you could. You could. Absolutely. But it is indeed my break time. I'm going to get up, stretch, walk around, get some water. I suggest you all do the same. Yeah, so this is... Also, check out my sweet new t-shirt. I drew this on stream. That's my logo. It's pretty sweet. I'm actually really... I'm not a t-shirt guy, and I was actually really excited when I ordered it. So, I will be back in a few minutes, guys. I love you all very much. I'll be back soon.
Breaking the game for the makers, the dreamers. Remember the name, crew and tribe. We're riding this wave for every creator who dared to be brave. He's the man with the vision, designs that inspire, fueling the scene with relentless fire. From the crew to the tribe, he's breaking the mold, building a legacy that's fierce and bold. Promoting the makers, he's lifting them higher. Every model a spark, every print's desire. He's got the skills, the hustle, the drive. Free Heathen Workshop, keeping dreams alive. So keep your chin up, protect your neck. This life's a grind, but there's no regret. Just build, 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 let your heart connect. I love you and you matter, never forget. Oh, free, they're leading the way, pushing the limits, redefining the play. For the crew, for the tribe, for the ones who strive. He's the pulse of the maker's drive. Breaking the rules, yeah, he's setting the tone. For every designer making magic their own. Blueprints and dreams, they're the tools of the trade. With Free Heathen Workshop, the future's made. His models are art, his passion's the key. He's building a world for the community. Through struggles and triumphs, he's always on deck. With the mantra he lives by, protect your neck. So keep your chin up, protect your neck. This life's a grind, but there's no regret. Just build, 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 let your heart connect. I love you and you matter, never forget. Oh, free, Heathen leading the way, pushing the limits, redefining the play. For the crew, for the tribe, for the ones who strive. He's the pulse of the maker's drive. It's more than print, it's a way to rise through the sweat and tears under burning skies. He's here for the maker. shine. He shows how to live. All free, they're leading the way, pushing the limits, redefining the play. For the crew, for the tribe, for the ones who strive. He's the pulse of the maker's drive. So keep your chin up, protect your neck. Just build, 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 let your heart connect. I love you and you matter. Hear the call with free heathen. There's room for us Yo, it's free heathen breaking the game. For the makers, the dreamers, remember the name. Crew and tribe, we're riding this wave. For every creator who dared to be brave. He's the man with the vision, designs that inspire, fueling the scene with relentless fire. From the crew to the tribe, he's breaking the mold, building a legacy that's fierce and bold. Promoting the makers, he's lifting them higher. Every model a spark, every print's desire. He's got the skills, the hustle, the drive. Free Heathen Workshop, keeping dreams alive. So keep your chin up, protect your neck. This life's a grind, but
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome into the Free Heathen Workshop. My name, of course, is Maker Millwright. We are just designing and printing now. I don't know if I want to do more writing and book formatting or painting. So I'm sort of torn. So if you guys don't know, I write a game called the Darkstar Chronicles. It's a pen and paper RPG adventure game. We have the source book out. We have the main book out, and we're working on the first source book, which is called Twisted Spire. I did start writing it on Twitch on Monday. I had been taking notes for some time. I have to see where I'm at on that because I don't know if the video is posted. One of the things that people always find really something strange about me, I work very fast on the things I do. So I think about things for a long time, then I get it done. So that's one of the things people don't understand, I guess. I'm just seeing if... So it is there, but it's under private. So what I need to do is probably cut that up. Because it's a 5-hour stream. We ended up spending an hour playing video games. Then we did some book designing. Then we watched some Jimmy DeRista stuff. I can't remember. But, that's where we're at on that. So I don't know if I want to design today. Well, this boat's kind of done. At least for now. Oh, and one of the nice things about Tinkercad, if you guys don't know, you can always go back. Like, I have files with like 1,000+ iterations. You can always go back and find the original model. You can always go back and reiterate off of existing stuff. Right, because it does look a little bit better though, I would say. I do like that. This just comes down, right? Oh, did I forget to put the hole in that? Alright, weird. It's gonna be a problem. Yeah, I did. Where's the hole? Why is that off center? Why is all of this off center? I don't know. It's fine because we'll have to reprint it anyway because as we do changes. That's so weird. What happened there? And so this shaft is kind of cool because this shaft is actually a stepped shaft. Part you can see it's actually got a bunch of steps on it, and that's so that you can put each propeller in the right position. And actually, I can put collars on these so they sit deeper, but they just sit up against that edge. And then I just take this. No, I copy this. No, I break this up. What are you doing, step shaft? Ugh. You're not a very classic gentleman, sir. That's length is ends up being this needs to be 7.75. 7.75. And then this needs to be like 10 mil. Hollow, and then we get rid of all the bevels. We don't worry about segments or anything like that. And we align to this. Should fix it. And then this all centered. No, I screwed that up. I gotta get it to a point. Because I keep forgetting to either hide or lock. We made platforms for the internal structure. They're not ribs, these support the platforms. But if I don't lock or hide them, when I go to assemble this, it'll just tear it all apart. If that makes, it probably doesn't make any sense, but it will over time. But if I don't, it just because the way the model's built. It is the way it is because it is the way it is, I guess. Enjoy this thing. I don't know, I forget the saying. Look at this thing. It is because it is made the way it is. I don't know, I thought it was funny. Anyway. And then, so again, we don't need any bevel on that because we want it to seat flat. Size is fine, but this aligns to this. Remember, it has to be centered. And then we create them as a bundle. Then we take everything here. Align center, because for some reason it wasn't on center. And then we basically do everything. Exclude the prop output shaft. I forget what that's called. And then what'll happen is you'll see that the inner ribs have not changed because we locked them. And then this will end up being, yeah, see how they've not changed? And then this ends up being unbundled. And then these get unlocked. Added back together. That should punch a hole back in. It's like it's not perfect, right? It's definitely like conceptual, but it works, right? And that's what we want, is it has to work. And it's just a toy. Now, I have been requested to make this into um like a bathtub toy, which I may do in the future. But it looks fine to me. But yeah, you would think, especially earlier when we were saying, yeah, you would think it would typically print like this, which is what I also thought. But the construction is self-supporting enough that it doesn't have to. So then this one, because this gray one over here doesn't have that hole in the back, which it needs, this white one now replaces that gray one. Gray one. We've got, this is where we started today. And it probably doesn't look like a whole lot of changes, but it actually is. And I always find that when I'm designing the finer details, they always say the devils are in the details. That's very much what's going on here. And it's actually really big. It's like 275 mil across, like tip to tip. But it is a kit build. So you can see everything that's a different color is a different item. Some of it's been hollowed, like this has been hollowed, and some of it is, and there's platforms internally, right? If I hide it, see, like there's platforms internally, so it gives you a chance to mod with it. And yes, we can go and redesign it to fit these weights or armor plates if we want. It would take some effort, and it is doable. It's just quite a few steps. That's probably a day just to change the armor. And then I'm not sure how much I like this. This may just end up on a plate. Because I'm not sure if this is all level. I guess. See, it's just 4 pieces put together, right? See, now it's better. See this? I'm just gonna move down in. But I don't know about these buttons. They're designed to be separate, but I don't know how big they are. I don't know how big that shank is. Like 1.5 mil. That is really small. I don't know how, I don't know if it's worth making them separate or whatever. Oh, and then the other thing I can do, of course, is I can put because what I could do is put a plate on that, right? But the idea is that the base of this is gray, and then the top of it is brown. Oh, you guys aren't even on the right screen. That was embarrassing. So what I was talking about is this. So let me. It doesn't want it. So you can see here, like, when I looked at this, I was like, oh, this is not right. There's something wrong here. Then I went and started looking at this, right? And if I go back, you can see the height is all wrong. So then what I did was I started taking it apart. You see I took it apart. And I just kept taking it apart to try and get to the point where I wanted to. You can see that's where I moved it down. So made these pipes parallel, the end of these pipes parallel to the center support block, right? Which again, you don't really, you could cut that open. Like you don't have to have a big block there if you don't want to. And then I just started reassembling them. And then I lowered them down so they sit on that support block a little bit better, because this arch will print. But if you leave it too much, it won't, right? You're trying to minimize supports whenever possible. Then you can see here I pulled the handle off, and I was checking the size of the handle, right? Right, checking this diameter, checking everything, because I was wondering how big that shank is. Because if I put a, like I say, a 1.75 mil hole or a 2 mil hole in that, that is the thickness of. It's actually undersized the thickness of filament. You might say, "Well, I feel like filament's pretty thick." It's not. It's really not. So, and then I just started reassembling it, and then I moved it back into position. And that's how we got back to there. And the same with this. With this was earlier I had to. I noticed that there was a hole missing with one of the versions I had done. Because this all inserts. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, you know? And it's just like constant work, right? Just keep pushing, make what you want to make, right? That's all that really matters. Because even if people don't understand, at least you're making for yourself, right? The other thing is, like, we could take this and this. We could, like, literally punch a hole through the center of this. Like, we could punch a hole through here. Copy this. Shift this and this, and then move these over here. We could, like, literally, like, make this a hole. And we could actually make a hole through, and it would save us some material too, right? I guess we could do that. Do the same here. If we put that on a plate. But like all I would do is I copy this. Start ungrouping this. Yeah. And all I want is this middle cut. All I want is this cutout piece. So I wouldn't make it size. Well, I guess I could make it size for size. I'd probably make this smaller. If that's like. Yeah, I guess I'd leave it size for size. So I would just. I believe this is on center. If I have to manually adjust it, I will, but. Yeah, it is. It's on center. Oh, it's slightly on center, slightly off center. Just come over a little bit, right? There you go. Right. There's a bunch of ways you can go about that without actually doing that, but and then you just come down here, and that now punches a hole through there. So it ends up saving you material on this, right? And then the same with this here, is we just copy this, disassemble it. Because the only thing we need is this center block. We don't need this red one. We don't need any of this other stuff. And remember, when you're doing stuff like this, like I used to leave it the full pattern, but honestly, just go simplify the pattern. No. And then this, we can leave it with all the facets. We can take the facets off because we just make this a square, right? And it will still fit inside this, and that gives us a center alignment, right? And that gives it, there's still a shoulder for it to sit on, right? And then that just becomes a hole. You're saving material. And then if we really want to fiddle with this, which I don't think we do. Well, yeah, I don't think we do. I think we want to leave that and just let that be gray. And then none of this stuff matters anymore. See how it's all pocketed? Just saves you material and time. Change the color of this one to like gray. Just find the brown one. There's the brown one. Can you tell? No. Is it going to save you material? Yep. It's just, simple stuff, right? And we try to keep the original around. Like this one doesn't matter anymore, but this is I believe, the original. I believe this, yeah, this is the original concept. This is without all the pocketing, with all the other stuff. It has a different look, right? Some people like that look, some people like this look. But you can see like the bunch of different changes, right? And then the only debate now is what do we want it to actually be? So we have the concept, right? Do we want to make it more steampunky? I'm so sorry, everybody. Do we want to make it more sci-fi? Do we want to make it like a Zeppelin? Again, it's already huge. It's like 28 centimeters length to length. It's big. Like for miniatures, that's pretty big. Tip to stern or whatever they call it. But yeah, so but yeah, like you can see, like this is the original concept. We kind of just smashed the concept together. And actually, originally I don't think it had any armor on it. See, there's been changes to the front plow, the prow. You can see that we've changed a bunch of things. But it's just you gotta think it through. I like Tinkercad because it's so simple and it is capable of so much. But I would say that this is a dramatic difference than that. They come from the same world, but they are dramatically different. I'm not a super huge fan of this pipe, but we'll leave it. But it ends up, I think it's like, I don't know how many pieces this is. It's a lot. Well, it's not a lot, but I keep clicking for like the arrange all button. There is no arrange all button. Not sure the correct way to print this. I don't think there's any nice way to print this. I could split it, I guess. Dowel pin it. I don't know. This was just a concept. Like we didn't. This doesn't really come from anywhere. It was just one of the art designs we ended up doing based off some AI stuff. Nice. It's cool. Why is there two boat holes in there? I'll never know. If they turn out nice, I might even. Ooh. Release your files. I always tell you guys. So without any more tuning, we're at 13 pieces, and it could go more because it could be. What else could it be? There's like some ways to simplify it, right? But I did my, yeah, because those portholes could be removed, and they could just be like bolt-ons, so there's no overhang there. Yeah, and then with this, I guess we could split it. It still doesn't change much though if we split it though. Like it doesn't really, I guess. Like it really doesn't change much. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Screen this. So what I'm doing is just creating double negatives. So like one of these ends up being pink, and the other one will be tan, right? So we create this, and then we just this comes up like that, right? And what it does is it just moves the line, and you just cut it. So it's like, so this one now joins with the pink one. And then this one now joins with the orange one. And you now have two pieces. There's nothing too exciting or anything like that. It's just simple, right? It's things like that as you work through it, you can kind of decide like what you want. Like we can still like modify the shoulders on these shafts. Sorry, on the props. Um, this ends up being a big piece. This cap could be modified because what we could do is like cut it, put another. Oh, this is not good. So this needs to be modified. And actually, we can do a hollow for that as well if we want. I don't know what's going on here. Because we don't want some random piece in there. Yeah, actually, this and this and this, and they join. But like we could, I don't know how we'd square that off, but or we could just pocket it. But see how this is pocketed? And we could put a hole through the center of this to make it easier. Although, does it make it easy? No, because it can't bridge. Yeah, it can't bridge the gap. There's like little tricks, right? Like sometimes putting holes in stuff like actually makes it harder to print. So you like just better to leave it there. So, and that's what ends up. And then like you can go and decorate these, right? Like for example, I don't like this. See that little gap there? So what I'll do is I'll just go and trim that out. I'll take this. Just come in here. And I'll take this across like that. Now there's a trick to this as well, because I can ungroup this. See how the bottom's brown now? So I can take this gray one and group it with this one. Actually, there might be even better trick here. No. Nope. We're not doing that. There's, it just cuts it out, right? But like you can go put rivets or screws in it if you want, right? Like if you wanted, you could put. Problem is, right? Once you start getting under like half a mil, it really does not show. So like if you went and put caps in, like half mil caps everywhere, on a number 4 nozzle, it really does not show. Because remember, the extrusion width is anywhere from 0.38 mil to 0.42, right? And actually it can go up to even like, what is it, 6.6 or 0.66 or something? Is it 4.2? 4 point, no, so it'd be 0.64 or 68, something like that. So you would end up, right, with a difference. Yeah. So you end up with that variant. But you can see here, right? Like it's cool, but the finer details, you're like, oh, well, where are the nails and where are the cracks in the boards and stuff? It's because you could do the cracks in the boards, but the likelihood of nails, like properly scaled nails, they won't appear. They won't print correctly. Because in my experience of doing it, it didn't. Like, I guess we could fiddle around with it a little bit. How small can I get this? If I made this 0.6. Well, they could be bigger than 0.6. How about point? Yeah, that's not bad. And then I can just make them taller, right? Look a little small though. We could actually go bigger then. Let's go bigger then. And then we just do the layout, right? And actually, if we make them, if I do this, and work in this plane, because we could make these like 1 mil. How tall are they? So let's make because it's half a sphere, right? So it's like it should be if it's done well, we could do a disc on the bottom of it. That's what we could do. So if this is 8.4, if we do a 1 mil disc, and then we make that disc 0.4, doing what I'm telling you to do. Say 0.5, right? No, I'll do 0.4. 0.4. And then this sits on top of this. We actually can come down just a little bit. So we're down negative 0.02 because I think that's the height difference, and that would give us an interface. Correct? So if this is, yes, see how it's touching? And this is all really small, like really, really small. Like maybe too small. But if I took this and I went down like that, I started just picking my layout. So if that's like maybe like that, copy this, and then I come over here. There. And what I can do, I'm not going to do it, but what I could have done is I could take these and align them center on each plank. But I'm not gonna, I'm gonna eyeball most of them. I don't even know if this is going to show, because they are pretty small. But then I can just take this, right? And they're like kind of like a rivet. And I can create a basic pattern that I like, right? I didn't want to do that. I want this. And I can lock this bottom plate so I don't mess with it. So they're all aligned, right? And then I can just deselect that and just move them over. Sort of where I like them. But then what I can do is I could group them. I might have to do another one of these. Yeah, to make them look right. But I don't know if these are going to even read. And then what I can do, but I could take these as groups. Group them. Yeah, group them. Copy them. And I can align to this one, for example. And then again, I have to take this one apart. I have to take this one apart. So you could leave them as individuals, I guess. Let me just take another one of these. And you could do like a standardized layout if you really wanted to. But I honestly, I don't worry about it. It gives it a little more life if you don't. And I just copy these. And then It's gonna look good in the model. It's not gonna look good on the print though. I can tell you, because they're so small, they may not even read. Which is generally why a lot of stuff I do is exaggerated. Typically, that's why a lot of stuff I do is exaggerated. So you'll see here, it's like, as I go through and I lay them out, right? I can kind of pick and choose where my positions are and make them really repeatable. So like ungroup that, right? We ungroup that. And then I can just take this one, because it's already here, right? But I could then take these two, because they're now singles, right? Group them, copy them. And then we just take these, and we make them parallel to this one. Brings them in a little bit more. And then these two, we can group them. And then copy them. Oops, undo. And then I'm going to have to check to see, like, whether is this clear? Okay, cool. My concern there was that, oh, I'm not getting inside the plank anymore, but and yeah, there's probably like a correct order of operations on how you should do all this stuff, but I just make whatever I want to make, right? And then we can actually take these. Probably just like split the difference, right? And then we can just take whatever set we have. This is a set, right? Right? See? It does. It's slow, but it's not as slow as you think. If you want to do like uniform gapping and whatever, you can. You just measure it out, right? But I just design however I feel works. Like whatever I like, which is like a big push for me to tell you guys. And yeah. Do they have to be perfectly aligned? Nope. Is it more interesting if they're asymmetrical? Yep. Does it annoy people when they're asymmetrical? Yep. So do you want to make them asymmetrical? Yep. See, so there's because it's gonna end up being asymmetrical there, right? Because the plank is not the correct length. But I hate to tell you this, everything in real life is pretty much asymmetrical. Nothing is nothing is consistent and uniform. It's like a thing humans look for. Symmetry? Symmetry in nature is super rare. But it is like a health marker, they call it, or whatever. And it goes pretty quick. It is definitely tedious, but you know, a little tedium's good for you from time to time, I think. Now, if you're worried about like overlapping and stuff, you can deal with that if you want. You can space them, it don't matter. I'm sure there's a way to make a tool to get them to match correctly. I don't worry about any of that. And now, because everything can be drawn procedurally, added, it's even less worrisome, right? Because you can do code blocks, which means you can do procedural generation using code blocks. Unless I'm wrong, which I don't think I am, but and if you really want to have some other, you don't make it uniform. Just put them wherever you want. And the reason why that is because it gives a totally different aesthetic. Right? This is pretty uniform, right? See there, right? This. Sure. But let's make this one match this one. And then why there's overlap, I don't know. Take this down like this. You can measure it all, right? If you really want to. Use patterning. It's not rocket surgery. I do think that these are not going to appear very well, but I just come in here. We go, okay, well, what do we want to do here, right? We'll ungroup this. We'll take this, put it there. This one here. Oh, we got too big of a gap in there. Well, we can do something about that, right? We just take this, just kind of roughly split the difference. Then we just take one of these. But this is when I always tell you guys stuff isn't devil's in the details. This is what I'm talking about. Because this is like way slower. than building the actual model, which is like where I get impatient, right? It's not terrible. Copy that. Come over here. That's where it is. There. And if there's a wave in them, just select them. Pick one you like the position of. There you go. This one, we ungroup it. This one. There we go. No, yeah, okay, let's leave that pattern. Let's leave that one. These. We're gonna have to move this one guy in here. See how close he is to the edge. I don't like that, so we'll take this. So you do kind of end up with an irregular pattern. If you really wanted to get specific, you could actually put like like on a real boat there'd be there'd be ribs underneath that deck, and it would go into each one of those ribs. So you could lay out just like on a real boat. You could lay out the ribs and do that, right? Oh, pardon me. No energy drink today. And actually, the ribs would end up being like the tool you use for alignment, right? Because I just made this however I wanted, which is way better if you ask me. There's a little bit of stickiness in the selecting the objects sometimes, which is what's happening here. Because we can start from the square edge, right? This one, we could probably take this one apart. If we're really more worried about we could align to the outside of this. But in I don't know if you guys have ever worked in construction or not, but like in construction, things are just the way they are. Whether it's right or wrong, things are the way they are. So a lot of times you'll be like, that doesn't seem correct. Too late, we already built it. Too expensive to go fix it, we're not going to fix it. So sometimes people think construction is something it isn't, but typically in my experience is like sometimes stuff just stays. Even though it's wrong, it stays because it's too expensive to fix. I don't know if that's what you guys. I don't know how many of you guys out there are construction workers or not, but I've seen concrete poured in the wrong spot. I've seen stuff actually. I've seen steel hung in the wrong place. I've seen not enough steel used, so they had to remake things. I've seen them like custom fabricate like air ducting. I've seen lots of stuff. So this like constant pursuit of perfection is good, if you ask me. I like it. But it also not so good because like the real world's just not that, right? And the belief that, everything has to be perfect, and I'm notorious for it, is it's just not that way, you know what I mean? I'll often talk to designers here on the internet. Oh, well, it has to be perfect the first try. I was like, good luck with that. Good luck with them apples. So we'll take this and then we'll take this. I was like, we live in a world of constantly changing and like modifying, and the internet provides that instant, easy ability to remake things. Wow, that was a lot of pieces. And then what we want to do is find another 6 set. There is another 6 set. Sick. Get it? 6 set. But then we can take this. Actually, I think I want to put some rivets on this edge. Copy. Somewhere else. It did. I deal with a lot of brilliant people. Oh, it has to be perfect, and then, oh, I don't like it. It's like, so what? Put it out. You don't like it? It's, if it's gonna sit there and do nothing, that's dumb, right? There you go. So there's like 95 pieces there, or 94 pieces. It's dumb. So just release it. If they waited for every video game to be perfect, they would never release a video game. Because I've never played the perfect video game. So that one doesn't have an edge on it, right? but we're constantly being pushed to be perfect. Perfect attitude, perfect personality, perfect everything. I think you guys should just try to be you. And yeah, people are not gonna like you. It's just gonna be a thing. It's just. But so what? It does hurt, right? Everybody wants to be included and accepted, but and anyone who says otherwise is a liar, because we live in a social system. Did it? You can show me pictures on Discord. That's what I tell you guys. I always say you guys loved them, you matter. There's like a flow, right, to this design stuff. It like shows you how cool things are. Like I find designing very relaxing. There's definitely times where I like want to do like the impossible, so I get stressed out, but that's just because I'm trying to do too much. I don't need to do that. I just need. Problem with doing too much? No. Come on now. Silly. Don't think I liked that one there either. It's gonna look weird, but that's okay. I just make them all parallel, right? I really like my new shirt. Come out more. I really like my new shirt. Why is this two pieces? It's like painting too, right? It's like you try to find the flow of it. Just keep going with the flow. I always tell you guys, chase the flow, right? Because there's so many moments where life is not what you want it to be. So live in those moments that life is where you want it to be. It's more like this, I think. Let's move that one around, right? Just gonna make up the difference like there. It's still gonna be too much, right? It should be there. So then this gets moved in. That almost. And then do we do an extra pip on the end? Do we have an extra pip somewhere? Sure, let's copy that one. Like, I don't think these pips are going to print, but they all have to. So either, yeah, everything has to come up. So the plate will come up like maybe 10. Because you can see they're floating right now, right? Because when I show this, we should have interference, and we don't have, right? We have no interference between the two, so we just print on top of it. Put pictures in Trimalens? Oh, heck yeah! Heck yeah, that looks cool, dude. Good job. Yeah, good job. Heck yeah. As Ugly Moo would say, heck yeah. See, you know, we're almost done. Sure, I guess we copy this pip. Yeah, because we don't have full plates, right? So just come in here, and we just put them in wherever we want. Yeah, that clone feature that Tinkercad has is pretty sweet. Then we lock this. Everything else. And nope, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna take this, and we're gonna come up. Sure. And group them. And that should... Oh no. Oh no, I think I just ruined a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I think I just ruined a bunch of stuff. Oops. Oh no. Yeah, I think I have to do it over again. Sucks. Yeah, I think I ruined just a bunch of stuff here. I think I might have to undo a whole bunch of work I just did. I don't, but I have to redo a bunch of work I did. Because I just ruined a bunch of stuff. Well then, I want to say thank you everyone for tuning in today. But I actually have to redo the entire top deck again because I ruined it. Don't know how I ruined it, but I got rid of it somehow. So I have to take all these little pips I just did and redo them on there like we did before. And again, like I said, I don't think they're going to read very well, but, you know, that's the way of things sometimes. This is our boat, though. This is the one we're working on. But thank you everyone for tuning in today. Of course, there's no raids here on YouTube, sadly. But I hope you like the new shirt. I have the new jacket to show you guys on Friday. And so sorry. I'm tired today. Thank you for all tuning in. Of course, before I go today, I need 3 things from you. Right? 3. 1, keep your chin up. Can't see the world if staring at your feet. 2, protect your neck. I don't want you to lose your head. And 3, just build, build, build. Remember, you are loved. You matter. I think that it's wonderful to entertain for you guys. I hope the tutorial was good. We didn't end up writing today. I might have to just write some manual notes and then go from there. And yeah, just make sure to take care of yourselves. See you guys all 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Or yeah, Pacific Standard Time on Twitch on Friday. And I hope you all have a great evening. Thank you for being here. And more than anything in this world, I want to leave you with a thought. Now, you are loved, and you do matter. So take care of yourselves. Enjoy this outro by Solar 3DP.
Well, that's it. I really hope you enjoyed it. We had a ball making it. Well, that's it. I really hope